Hello, I'm Richard Nongard with subliminalscience.com, and in this video I want to take a few minutes to talk about the phenomena of hypnosis. Now, I do both stage hypnosis, as some of you know, as well as clinical hypnotherapy, where I help people make important changes in life. And sometimes people ask me, what's the difference, or is there a difference between stage hypnosis and clinical hypnosis? Well, the short answer, or the simple answer, is no. Hypnosis is hypnosis. The difference is that a stage hypnotist uses the various phenomena that occur during a hypnotic trance to entertain people. It's fascinating, it's interesting, it can be humorous to see people doing things on stage that they normally wouldn't be doing in real life. And so a stage hypnotist brings a person into a state of trance and then manifests the phenomena for entertainment purposes. Now, a clinical hypnotist uses the exact same phenomena, but instead of entertaining the audience, because there is no audience, they use these phenomenological changes that occur during trance states to help a person make change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few minutes and I'm going to outline some of the hypnotic phenomena that we see when people are in trance. And I'm going to explain how it's used in stage hypnosis and how it's used by the clinical hypnotist. The reason I'm doing this is simple. Many clinical hypnotists only learn how to make direct suggestions to a person, and they never learn how to actually produce, during the course of a therapy session, various hypnotic phenomena. And these are powerful tools for helping a person really take charge of their own life and make lasting change. And so if you are a clinical hypnotist and you do direct suggestion, but you'd like to incorporate more hypnotic phenomena, well, you might actually look into learning some of the secrets of stage hypnosis. Not because you're going to perform, but because those who I know, who are both clinical hypnotists and stage hypnotists, tend to have, in my opinion, a greater success rate. So let me talk about the various phenomena and how it's used in each. The first is simply a change in sensorial experiences, a change in smell, a change in vision, a change in the way things taste. Now, this can be very funny or comical during stage hypnosis. The suggestion could be given, and it's often a first skit, because it's a relatively easy phenomena for a person to experience, that they're going to smell an awful smell, and that smell perhaps could be coming from them. In stage hypnosis, this is kind of funny. Or a person might be told in stage hypnosis that they're experiencing extreme cold and that they need to hug a buddy next to them in order to stay warm. Again, in stage hypnosis, that can make for some great comedy. But if these sensorial changes occur in stage hypnosis, they can occur in clinical hypnosis as well. And one of the ways that we can manifest or use the manifestation of sensorial change in clinical hypnosis is to help a person to increase their comfort level and decrease their pain level. It's the same set of hypnotic phenomena. And this is a truly meaningful, useful, and even liberating experience for the pain management client who may be seeing a clinical hypnotherapist. Well, let's talk about selective amnesia, where a person forgets something. You might think to yourself, how could this be used in clinical hypnosis? You've probably seen a stage hypnotist use this where they give a person a suggestion that they're no longer going to be able to remember the number 2. As a matter of fact, I even have a couple of clips on YouTube from some stage hypnosis presentations where I have a person look at their hands and count out the fingers. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's amazing, and it's quite comical in stage hypnosis. Well, how could this be used in clinical hypnosis? Well, one way is we can give the suggestion to a person that they're going to forget to remember the cue that precedes any maladaptive or unhealthy behavior. For example, if a person always lights up a cigarette and they're coming to us for smoking cessation after a meal, we might give them the hypnotic suggestion, using amnesia as the phenomena or the principle behind this, that after they finish a meal, they will forget to remember to smoke. And that's a fantastic hypnotic suggestion. Now, muscular catalepsy. You may have seen a stage hypnotist use muscular catalepsy, where at the beginning of the show they'll have the participant make their arm stiff and rigid like a steel bar and try to pull that down, but they cannot pull it down. And it's kind of amazing in stage hypnosis how can this be used in clinical hypnosis? Well, this iron bar is a great metaphor for the point of resistance, and we can have somebody make a breakthrough, releasing that muscular catalepsy and becoming free of whatever has held them back in the past. And so it's a great way to use muscular catalepsy in suggestive therapy. There's actually, I think, even a couple clips here on YouTube of me and of John Sorbonne using this in conjunction with speed trance. Now, one of the other hypnotic phenomena is analgesia or analgesia, creating the absence of pain. Now, you might think to yourself, how is this shown in stage hypnosis? Well, in old-time stage hypnosis shows, go back to the 1930s, 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, they would often demonstrate the power of hypnosis. They would bring a person on stage and they would pinch some skin and actually run a needle through the back of their hand or a point on their arm. You've probably seen magicians do the needle through balloon. Hypnotists were actually doing a needle through the person, and the person would feel no pain. And the audience, the spectators, would say, wow, this is absolutely fascinating. Well, we usually don't do those types of demonstrations in public any longer, although they are known to occur probably in some Psychology 101 classes. But the manifestation of analgesia and anesthesia can certainly be used to help a person deal with either the physical or even the emotional pain that is related to rheumatoid arthritis, that's related to an injury, that's related to either pre or post-surgical preparation. And so it's a great way to help a person develop a sense of the absence of pain, or the sensation of no sensation, in a very specific spot where they've been experiencing chronic pain in the past. Disassociation is another one of the hypnotic phenomena that is sometimes talked about or seen in stage hypnosis. This, of course, is where a person disassociates. They are essentially no longer them and can take on the characteristics of somebody else, or at least see themselves from a different perspective, where they have no inhibitions. And well, you've seen this in stage hypnosis, where a person is told that they're going to use this microphone and that they're now Madonna, and they're going to sing to close the show out just like Madonna. That is actually a manifestation of the hypnotic phenomena we call disassociation. Well, how can we use this in clinical hypnosis? Easily. When a person's experienced trauma or crisis, we can have them actually step out of themselves and step back to what in NLP we call the second perceptual position, and see themselves not as they are, but from a safe distance. And this gives a person the ability to process often traumatic or difficult situations. We can even disassociate further and have a person see themselves outside of themselves, one more time removed, seeing themselves, see themselves. And in extreme cases of trauma, this is actually a very useful strategy for helping a person to either gain new perspectives or to reconcile some emotional crisis that they've been experiencing. Now, one of the more fascinating hypnotic phenomena is both positive and negative hallucination. A positive hallucination is, of course, seeing something that is not there, and negative hallucination is not seeing something that really is there. By the way, I said earlier that every hypnotic phenomena that's experienced, we experience in real life, even when we're not hypnotized. For example, let's say I'm always losing my car keys. And you can probably relate to this. They're on the desk, they're somewhere in front of you, and you say to yourself, I've been looking everywhere for my car keys, I cannot find my car keys. You've given yourself a negative hypnotic suggestion. And you're looking right at them, but you just don't see them, and you ask somebody to help you find them, and sure enough they come along and they're like, hey, the keys are right here in front of you. And you say, oh, silly me. That's an example of what appears to be incredible in stage hypnosis actually occurring in real life. And the stage hypnotist simply knows that this phenomena is a normal event in our life, but they manifest it during the stage hypnosis show. One way they do this is there's a skit where the hypnotist will make themselves invisible. The spectator or the participants in the committee, they can actually hear the hypnotist but they can no longer see the hypnotist, a negative hypnotic hallucination. And the responses really are quite remarkable and quite fascinating, ranging from comical to sometimes a little bit of anxiety. How can a clinical hypnotherapist use positive and negative hallucination? Well, one of the ways, let's say, again, a client comes to see us for smoking cessation, and they still have to buy gas at the convenience store where they used to buy cigarettes. And so we can actually give them the suggestion that when they go in to pay for their gas, they'll no longer see the things that were once obvious to them. Instead, simply seeing beyond those cigarettes which are on the wall and seeing themselves happy in this new chapter of life as a smoke-free person. Now, time distortion is another tool in stage hypnosis. As a matter of fact, one of the funnier bits is after the audience or after the participants have been on stage for an hour, the stage hypnotist actually gives them the suggestion that when he awakens them from the show, all the silly suggestions will be forgotten except one, and this one only. They'll swear they just got up on stage and that the show is about to begin. This can be really quite comical because the audience, of course, has seen the entire show and they've been up there for an hour. But when we awaken them at the end of the show, 1, 2, 3, wide awake, taking in a deep breath and feeling wonderful, taking a bow, this thunderous round of applause is for you. And then they say, well, when's the show going to start? This is really kind of funny. It's a great stage hypnosis skit. How can time distortion? Time no longer either speeding up or slowing down. How can this be useful in clinical hypnosis? Well, as some of you know, years ago I was afraid to fly, and now I love to fly. I'm executive platinum on American Airlines. I love to fly to Europe, I love to fly to Asia, I love to fly all over the USA. And one of the reasons why I like to fly is, well, it's the only time where there's no cell phone, no email, nobody demanding my attention. It's just a quiet time for myself. But the flights that I find most difficult are actually the ones between my home of Tulsa and Dallas, where I usually get on to the longer flight. It's just not long enough. It's up and then down. It's that 14-hour flight to Tokyo that I really enjoy, where I can simply enjoy that time by myself. Now, in clinical hypnosis, if somebody's afraid to fly, we can actually teach them to create and experience the phenomena of time distortion and either speed up or slow down time depending on their own unique needs. We can also use time distortion to ratify trance. At the end of every hypnosis session, after I emerge my client, I ask them about how long did that session feel. They almost always look at me and they say, I don't know, it felt like it was 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And then I tell them, well, I've been timing, because I do always time my sessions with the clock that's right behind them, and it was actually 32 minutes. And they say, wow. And it's one way, after the session is over, to prove to the client they were in fact hypnotized. Now, there are many other phenomena that can be produced during the course of both clinical hypnosis and stage hypnosis. But I would encourage you to increase your skills as a hypnotherapist by learning to manifest the hypnotic phenomena which are available to us. I'm Richard Nongard with SubliminalScience.com, and I hope you have a chance to take a look at some of my other videos that teach tremendously useful skills for hypnotists in all types of settings.